Trust me when I say that this thing is potent.
Search Auto Trader.
This is the new 2024 BMW X6 M Competition. It's not an all-new vehicle, it is still the third generation, the G06. It's just received a little bit of an update, a facelift, and a little bit of a tech tweak. When the X6 was revealed in the mid-2000s, people were a little concerned that it was going to cannibalize sales from the BMW X5, which was already proving to be rather popular. But it didn't. Instead, it found itself its own little niche market of enthusiasts that wanted an SAC, not an SUV, an SAC, a sports activity coupe. Personally, I have a little bit of a problem with that. One, an SUV or a large vehicle of this nature with 4x4 credentials, off-road capabilities, shouldn't be too sporty. You're starting on the back foot. And then to call it a coupe when it's got 4 doors, it doesn't sit right with me. I don't really see the point of vehicles like the X6, the X4, even things like the GLC coupe. But it appears that there is an appetite for it, because this wouldn't exist if people weren't buying them. And many of you like this. It gets even worse when you go the M route, because, I'm sorry, but you're starting on the back foot. You're taking something that is 3 tons and you're trying to make it stop, turn and go like a sports car. Why don't you just start with something that is lighter in weight? There's considerably less research and development and engineering required to make it do all of those sports car things. That said, what BMW has done here is rather impressive. Under the bonnet is a 4.4-litre twin-turbo V8. It produces 460 kilowatts, 750 newton-meters of torque. But what's new for this G06 LCI, this X6 M Competition, is hybrid assistance. Yes, theoretically it's a hybrid. It has a mild hybrid system, a 48-volt hybrid system, but that gives you a little bit of a power boost. You get an additional 9 kilowatts, and that doesn't sound like much, but an additional 200 newton meters of torque. And of course, it's sending all this power to all 4 wheels through a very clever MX drive system that has a limited slip diff. Trust me when I say that this thing is potent. That 48-volt system just fills in all the gaps and just lets this thing absolutely rocket around cars, off the line, and down the highway like very little else. It really belies the sheer size and weight of this vehicle. The handling is superb as well. It has M-active dampers and suspension in it, which are electronically controlled to constantly give you the best ride possible. Of course, there's multiple settings, so you can choose how aggressive you want it to be, how firm you want it to be. But in its softest setting, it is still rather comfortable, despite the fact that it runs on a mixed set of 21 and 22-inch wheels and tires, merely dipped in rubber. And it's got a glorious soundtrack. I don't know when last I actually drove a V8. That's how scarce it's becoming. As much as this is a hybrid of sorts, it still has this big V8 in it. And that is something special. Of course, there's too many settings for you to sit and for me to explain to you in just one go. But they've simplified things by giving you a shortcut, an M1 button or an M2 button here on the steering wheel, and beautiful carbon fiber shift pedals behind the wheel. One side has dimples on it, the other side has dents on it, so that you can feel which one is up and which one is down. And then they managed to make it stop as well. It's got M compound brakes, and these are the size of dustbin lids. BMW claims that this will do 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds and then charge onto a top speed of 290 kilometers an hour. And that is rather substantial for a vehicle of this size. Part of the updates for this life cycle impulse, this facelift, is exactly that, a facelift. So they've reworked the front end of the vehicle, and on the M Sport Competition, you get this gunmetal grey grille. Now, BMW haven't gone too large as they have with some of the other models with those grilles, but they haven't helped their cause any by giving it this large black X on the front, which makes it look like it has one of those grilles, despite the fact that it doesn't. They've also given it new headlights, and the daytime running lights really echo those that you would find on the E39 and E46 M3. So there's a little bit of heritage tied in. Around the back, they've just tweaked the taillights ever so slightly. And then of course it's got a new set of wheels. Like I say, 21 and 22 inch wheels with nice, wide, sticky rubber. You really forget that you're driving a 3-ton car. You're actually going to find the most changes here in the interior, where BMW has adopted their new interior design language. So it gets the widescreen cockpit approach. You get a 12.3-inch display in front of the driver, configurable of course, and then a beautiful 14.9-inch display over here in the middle. And they're both covered with the same piece of curved glass. It is still wonderfully styled. They've taken a faceted approach to all the interior trims. This little black piece here has jewel-like facets on it. And there's carbon fiber trim on this model and the sumptuous red leather. Like I say, it's pretty comfortable, it's pretty convenient, and it's got a banging Bose & Wilkins audio system. Space is relatively generous, as long as you're not looking for headroom in the back, always a bit of a shortcoming in the X6. The boot space is also generous, but it sits relatively high, which means that loading things requires that you lift them really high up. BMW has also enhanced the driver assistance systems and some of the safety systems. You can read more about that on our website. So is the BMW X6 M Competition for me? Well, as I sit here, it's a rather capable, powerful bruiser. But then I have to climb out of it and look at it, and I don't like the way that it looks. I don't like the styling. I'm still wrestling with the concept of a high-performance SUV. I'd prefer something a little smaller, a little more nimble. But it certainly goes well, makes all the right noises, and it does stop and turn exceptionally well. The niggle for me is the price tag. It is 3.3 million rand before you start looking at the options list, and that makes it rather dear. I don't think BMW are going to sell too many of these, but they will sell, because there are people out there that are looking for this in a vehicle. Personally, I feel an SUV should have a big, greasy diesel up front and be able to tow the moon. But this isn't half bad. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a comment below and let us know. And don't forget to hit that like button. If you'd like to see more from Auto Trader, you can click on the subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified as to when we upload new videos. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to
search Auto Trader.